Hello and welcome to September Magic's YouTube channel. I am back with my April bullet journal setup, and this time it's going to be a little different because I have never attempted a monthly layout with just one or two colors. So if you don't like pink, a word of caution, there's going to be a lot of pink in this month's setup, so please brace yourself. First of all, the theme for the month is floral, and not just any flowers. This is going to be anemones, pink anemones. The reason I chose this flower is that recently I worked on a project where it was a custom piece where I had to paint a wedding bouquet on a wine glass, and the bouquet consisted of roses and limoniums and lavenders and anemones. So I loved the way the anemones looked at the end, and that just gave me the idea of going with the flower for the month of April. And also because April in Austin is so beautiful with wildflowers growing everywhere, and it just cried for a floral theme, I guess. For the cover page, I just went with a bunch of anemone flowers arranged in a garland kind of a way, with some green here and there, but the main color that I've used everywhere is pink, with a tinge of red here and there, but the centers of the anemones are going to be a dark purple brown, so that gives a nice contrast to the whole light petals. And also for the flower, all I did was just try to darken the edge of each petal and leave some of the areas light. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you can see what I'm doing. I am trying to darken some areas so that they don't look flat, but I also did not want to make it too dark because anemones are so light and airy looking, so I just wanted that delicate feature of the flower to be emphasized. Also, for the title, this time I wanted to experiment a bit with the fonts. I have never been good with writing or calligraphy, but I really wanted to do something different this time, so I looked up some fonts and I really liked this casual cursive kind of font. I just filled in the chunkier parts of the font with marker, my Tombow brush pen, which is also in pink, and then I just outlined it with my Micron 05 pen. But what I did different this time was use a brown Micron instead of black. I did not want that sharp edge to my flowers because, as I said, anemones are delicate and I did not want to take away from that. So the brown kind of kept the flowers looking very dainty and very fragile instead of giving them that sharp look that a black pen would. So if you're in the market looking for a pen, I would say that go for a brown Micron 05 tip pen. 05, as I said in my previous video, it's perfect to line your art because it's not too thick, not too thin, and if you want to make it thicker you can always go over it again, but it's just perfect. It's visible. It does not make the artwork look very blocky and very chunky. With my Micron pen, I am just going to add some lines and dots inside the petals of the flower, and I try to add more lines near the center of the flower so that it looks as if it's like more radial, it's coming out of the center. Make the lines in the direction of the petal from the center, so just imagine how the petals would be coming out of the center. So just draw lines in that direction So that's all I did for my cover. I did add some sparkles later on, which you will see at the end of the video, but otherwise I wanted to keep it very simple this time. To give it a little sparkle, I also added some silver dots on the center of the anemone. There are these pollens, which I wanted some of the pollens to be highlighted, and I also wanted to break from the pink, so the silver really looked really pretty with the whole pink and green. The second page for this month is definitely going to be a calendar. That's how all my layouts are. I always make a calendar. It allows me to add any events or any planning that I need to do beforehand. And it's just one page where I can look at all the important events and things that I want to do. This time I've gone for a very minimalistic calendar. You'll see when I start drawing with the Micron. I pushed the calendar to the right side of the journal so that I have more area on the left. It allowed me to draw some flowers, and I also tried to overlap a little bit onto the calendar, just one leaf on top of the calendar, just to give it more dimension. And then again, I went with the same pink, the same Micron lines and dots and everything, the purple center and everything. Now, I don't know how you guys do, just let me know in the comments below, but whenever a month starts with one day in the first week or a weekend, it becomes really difficult for me and confusing, because I usually club the Saturdays and Sundays together under the title weekend. So I really don't know how to start a week. I could do like first weekend, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but that just throws me off because I like to start the month with a weekday instead of a weekend. So what I did was I created a little section at the bottom of the calendar. First I thought I will just put notes. That was when I did not realize that the month was starting with a weekend, because I tend to be very clumsy and very unaware of what I'm doing when I'm drawing. So I am usually the last person who would realize something like this. So I made that section for notes, and then I realized, oh, the month is starting with a Saturday and a Sunday. So I used that section for my weekend. So I thought I'll just put in anything that happens over the weekend in that little box. That way I can start my weekly layout with a Monday. I don't know what you guys do. Please let me know how you deal with this problem, because I would like some tips. I just shaded the section with the days of the month with some pink color, and then added some lines in the box below just to add some color on that page. Otherwise, I just had some color on the left side and nothing on the right, so that's why I lined the little section that I have at the end. My next few pages are going to be my weekly layout. For this time, I wanted to save some time and do a Dutch door so that I have the same header for all my weekly pages and I don't have to draw over and over again for every week. The only reason I've not been doing Dutch doors lately is the fact that my Argent Olive has some issue. The pages don't align, so when I cut a Dutch door, the lines on the back of the page don't align with the front, so I have to kind of tweak the lines so that they look aligned. They're not very perfect, which makes me mad because I like everything nice and aligned. There's nothing much I can do. I've bought 6 of them, so I hope not all of them are like that, but the 2 that I've used now, they both have this alignment issue. But anyways, if your journal does not pose the same issue, I think go for Dutch doors. They are the best way to save time and they look so pretty and creative. So all I did for this particular weekly layout for the month of April is draw some anemones on the top and cut the bottom part so that they form like flaps. For the life of me, I could not remember where I had put my X-Acto knife, so I tried everything else that I had and I could find, and it did not give a very neat cut, but it will do for now. I guess it wasn't that bad. I like using scissors, but I also could not find the tiniest scissors that I have, because with that I can actually get a nice cut. If you have an X-Acto knife, that's the best way to cut your Dutch doors. They will give you a very, very neat and clean cut. So after cutting the flaps, I just rounded the corners a bit just to give it a nice finished look, and then went on with my Micron pen and drew the boxes. As I said, I usually do 6 days for the week, so it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then weekend. So because I took the first 2 days which were Saturday and Sunday onto my calendar page, I could easily start my week with a Monday. Also, if you like to draw with rulers, use one. I like that little crude effect that drawing without a ruler gives, so I usually go with that. And I also made 2 sections on, like one on the left and one on the right, as you can see. That is mainly because I like planning my week. I'm not good at assigning a task to each day of the week, so I wanted a section where I could just put everything that I want to do in that week, and then maybe like cross off things that I did and then move things that I could not do the other week. So that section that you see on the left and the right is for a checklist that I'm going to put for every week. So every Sunday or Monday, I will just write down all the tasks that I want to achieve in that particular week, and then as I finish them, I'll just cross them off, and if I'm not able to, I'll just put an arrow saying okay, move to another week. So it's going to help me plan my week better. I like this minimalistic one color thing, even though there's a bit of green, but still it's one color. For a person like me who is obsessed with color, I would like to give myself a pat on my back, because I seriously did not expect to stick to this one color thing, but surprisingly I liked it, and it did not take me 3 hours this time. It took me like 2 hours instead of 3 this time to finish my setup. So yeah, I would say I would do this again if I could think of a theme that goes with just one color. The next page is my expense page. Like this year, I started making an expense page where I put down my business expenses so that it's easier for me when I'm doing the taxes. I wanted to make it on the right side so that I end the monthly layout on the right side and then start the new one on the left. So for that, I just made that expense page on my right, and then on the left page I found a beautiful quote about anemone flowers of all things. I did not think there was one, but I found it, and it's such a beautiful quote. All I did was made a little header with some flowers on the top for the expense page, and then added 2 anemones on the left page as well, so that it gives a nice flow. I always say that if you're adding some color on the right, you should have that same color or shades of that color on the left as well. It just gives a more balanced look. So that's why those 2 flowers have been squished in and have been forced into the layout, but it doesn't look forced, I think. I then went over the quote with my Tombow brush pen. I wanted the quote to pop and not just look bland and plain, so I went over each letter like I outlined each letter with my Micron pen. This is a technique that I used in my previous layout for the month of March. I just make sure to outline each letter with the Micron in a way that the pink shows through. I'm not going to cover the pink, but just go around it. It looks pretty as well, and that little pink showing through the font, it gives it a nice edge. You can yourself see the difference between how it was before I outlined the font and after. It just makes the font look more clear, fuller, and it just looks as if you made an effort without putting too much effort. So I think that's it for my monthly setup for the month of April. I did go back and add some sparkles with my metallic watercolor that I found on Amazon. They are amazing. I'm kind of obsessed with the colors because they are so bright. I had never used metallic watercolors before this, so this was quite a surprise for me because they show so well on the page. Even on a dark page or a light page, the colors are really pigmented, and it adds a nice metallic sheen to the pages. So that was it, my monthly layout for the month of April. Very simple, very minimalistic, and yet very, very pretty, I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions, if you have suggestions for a theme that you would like me to. I can definitely try, and I always struggle with themes, so yeah, I would like any suggestions. Also, thank you so much for following my page, subscribing to my channel, and giving me so much love. Until I see you next time, happy journaling and have a good day.